Join Town Pump's Pump It Up Rewards Plus program and never pay full price for fuel again.
Save 5 cents on every gallon every day at any Town Pump across Montana.
Plus, earn and redeem points on your favorite in-store items to get free stuff with our clubs.
Stop in and pick up a rewards card. Download the Pump It Up Rewards Plus app today.
Or visit townpump.com/rewards to register and start saving.
Town Pump. Right down the road. Pump it up. Oh, yeah.
Thanks, everybody. Colter Nuanez, Skyline Sports, SkylineSportsMT.com. This is your first look where we do some players to watch for the upcoming opponents for both Montana and Montana State. University of Montana takes their 4-0 record and their number 2 national ranking to Pocatello, Idaho, to place a winless Idaho State squad. Bengals 0-4 in Charlie Ragel's first season. The first 2 losses to UNLV and San Diego State, respectively, pretty much expected. But then a home game against Central Arkansas, in which Idaho State had a hard time being competitive. A disappointment, to be sure. And then they opened up conference play with a 35-14 loss to Northern Colorado in what many thought was a battle between 2 of the worst teams in the league. And so to lose to Northern Colorado in that fashion, not great. So Charlie Ragel's first season off to a tough start at Idaho State. Here is a couple of the players to watch for the Bengals. First, Ragel, he takes over for Rob Fennessy, the former Griz offensive coordinator who's now back at Montana as an offensive analyst. Fennessy won just 16 games at Idaho State, but he did have a winning year 1 year. And Ragel, the next in line that's facing some of the challenges that exist in Pocatello. It's been close to 20 years since Idaho State's had real, true, consistent competitive teams. Mike Kramer got it going a little bit. They had the 2014 year where they almost made the playoffs, but otherwise it's been really tough no matter who the head coach is after Larry Lewis to get it going at Idaho State, whether it was John Zamberland or Mike Kramer besides the one breakthrough year, or Rob Fennessy, and now Charlie Ragel at least a month into his first season. Tough sledding so far. Ragel was the special teams coordinator at Cal for 5 seasons, and prior to that he was he spent 5 seasons in Arizona, and prior to that he was a high school coach. Chaparral High School, widely known as a recruiting hotbed, a place that a lot of big-time players come out of. Ragel's a high-energy guy, seems to be pretty passionate. I mean, obviously he's a college football coach. He's passionate about the game, but he wears his emotions on his sleeve, pretty boisterous personality. And it's interesting to see long-term what he could do at Idaho State, but so far I've been off to a tough start. Some of the players to watch, Tyler Vander Waal, for the second year in a row, the transfer from Wyoming, is out. Last year he had a season-ending injury. This year, I'm not sure what's going on, but he's out. Hunter Hayes, his backup, who got some snaps a year ago, he also got hurt last week. So Sagan Gronauer is going to be their quarterback. He is a sophomore. He backed up Matt Struck as a true freshman in 2019, but then they brought in Vander Waal as a transfer and Hunter Hayes as a walk-on in 2020. So what's the Idaho State offense like with Gronauer? I'm not really sure. Could it be an advantage since Montana has no tape? I don't know. I think Idaho State's going to have a hard time finding an advantage in this game. The Griz are flat rolling right now. Idaho State is really struggling. It's a bad formula coming into this one, but we'll see. That's why they play the games. Idaho State's leading rusher coming into this game is Raiden Hunter. He has 262 yards on the ground, 4.4 yards per carry. Just 3 rushing touchdowns so far for Idaho State as a team. Benjamin Amayebu has 2 of those touchdowns. He was a sort of a breakout guy a year ago. He made some plays, returned a kick for a touchdown, but hasn't been able to find his way to the top of the depth chart. The top receiver for the Bengals is Xavier Glory. Xavier Glory, I believe is how you pronounce it. He's a 6'2", 197-pound sophomore, spent a year at Air Force Prep before getting into Pocatello. He has 377 receiving yards this year already and 3 receiving touchdowns. So he's going to be the go-to target likely for the Bengals. Not much going in the passing game so far for Idaho State either, although they are averaging 253 yards per game compared to just 98 yards per game on the ground. Defensively, that's the thing about Idaho State, and this is why it's so unfortunate that Tyler Vanderwall is out, is because they play in Holt Arena and because of just sort of the makeup of the program, they've put a high priority on being a pass-heavy offense for my entire time, my 16 years covering the Big Sky Conference. They almost always want to get the ball out on the perimeter, use the indoor facility that they have, and they've had good quarterbacks at Idaho State. I mean, recently even, Justin Arias was a good player, a Walter Payton Award finalist in 2014. Tanner Guller was a good player as well there at quarterback for Idaho State. And Vanderwall's a good player when he's not injured, so it's a bummer that he's out because it really sort of derails what they want to do offensively. But Idaho State has had moments where they were good offensively, if not sometimes really good offensively. I harken back to that year that they had a winning year, and they beat Montana State in Pocatello that year. Tanner Guller, Mitch Guller, his brother, Michael Dean, Xavier Finney. I mean, they had good offensive skill guys there at that time. We'll see what this group is like. But the common factor, the tie that binds, the thing that has been the thing that has eluded Idaho State for my 16 years covering the Big Sky Conference has been the ability to play defense almost at all. They haven't been very good against the run or the pass. They've been particularly poor against the run most of the time. And that's just, I don't know what the reason why is, but it's certainly the thing that has held them back. And you wonder with the talent that's in high school football in the state of Idaho, I mean, there's a lot of really good linebackers and defensive linemen. It's very much like Montana. So you wonder why that has eluded Idaho State. But some players to watch on their defense. Charles Ike is their leading tackler. He's got 31 total tackles, including 18 unassisted tackles, a tackle for loss, and a sack. Quattro Morris Walker is another guy to watch. He's a sophomore safety, 6'2", 200 pounds, and he can cover a lot of ground, and he's got a lot of game experience as well. Their top corner from last year plays for Montana now, Jaden Dawson, but their other top corner, Josh Alford, he has started since the spring season in 2021, which was his first year available as a freshman. Now he's a sophomore, and he leads the team with 3 pass breakups. So what does Idaho State have for Montana's offense? And a unit that has shown their diversity, their explosiveness, their athleticism, their speed, and just how many weapons they have through the first month of the year. It's going to be a tough matchup on that side of the ball, I think, for Idaho State as well. Montana at Idaho State, the first Big Sky Conference road game of the year. The undefeated and second-ranked Grizzlies against the defeated and 0-4 Idaho State Bengals. There you go. That's your first look. That's some of your players to watch. Be sure to check out SkylineSportsMT.com early on in the week, each week, for this video element, as well as some of our writing, some of our scouting reports. Andrew Houghton has a first look coming up pretty soon here about Idaho State with this video included in it, and I'll have one about UC Davis, Montana State's opponent, in just a little while as well. So keep on following along, and thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for reading Skyline Sports, SkylineSportsMT.com, Skyline Sports, every day, every season.
Just a few minutes, small business owners can now sign up for Blackfoot Communication Services. Whether it's dependable voice options or internet services, sign up simply by visiting blackfootsmallbusiness.com. Click on the services you wish, select an installation time and date, and you're done. Small business services at the touch of your fingers. Connect to more with Blackfoot Communications and blackfootsmallbusiness.com.